Ana Satsuki is the kind of girl whose presence feels like a soft breeze drifting through an open shoji window on a mild spring afternoon. There is nothing noisy about her, nothing that demands attention, and yet the gentleness she carries has a way of reaching people quietly. Many describe her as someone who leaves an impression not because she tries, but because she simply is calm, warm, and naturally graceful. In Japan, where subtlety is often more beautiful than extravagance, Ena feels perfectly at home. She embodies the soft charm that makes people slow down, breathe a little easier, and notice the small, delicate things that often go unnoticed. When you look at Ena Satsuki, the first impression is not loud beauty, but rather the kind that settles slowly, like the afterglow of sunset spreading across a tatami room. Her features are gentle, balanced, and warm-toned. Her smile is never too wide but always sincere, and her eyes carry this quiet brightness that makes you feel as if she is really listening, to you, to the world, to the moment. In a society where many people rush through life, Ena feels like that rare moment when time slows down just a little. Imagine walking through a narrow Kyoto alley in the early morning, the shop still closed, the lantern still warm from last night, the sound of your footsteps echoing softly on the stone pavement. That is the kind of atmosphere Ena brings with her. Peaceful, slow, and deeply comforting. What makes her especially appealing to Japanese audiences is perhaps the authenticity in her expression. Nothing seems exaggerated. When she laughs, it feels genuine. When she speaks, her tone is soft but steady, carrying warmth without trying too hard. She has that friendly senpai aura. Someone you can confide in. Someone who feels familiar even if you've only seen her once. There is also something about her movements. Never rushed, never abrupt. Whether she is brushing her hair behind her ear, adjusting her clothes, or simply turning her head, everything seems thoughtful and smooth, like a quiet flow of water in a small garden pond. This natural elegance draws people in not through intensity, but through softness. Watching her feels similar to watching cherry blossoms fall. Not dramatic, not intense, but strangely beautiful in a way that settles into your heart before you even realize it. Ena's charm also comes from her balanced energy. She isn't overly shy, but she isn't overly bold either. She sits at that perfect center where calmness meets warmth. People often say that being around someone like Ena makes them feel understood, even without words. Her vibe is gentle reassurance. Her atmosphere is quiet comfort. Her presence is emotional softness. Japan has always celebrated subtle beauty, the kind found in haiku, in slow tea ceremonies, in the muted colors of kimono, in the quiet appreciation of seasonal change. Ena reflects that spirit. She feels like a person shaped by calm mornings and peaceful evenings, by small joys and thoughtful moments. When you see her, you don't see perfection. You see natural, approachable beauty that feels real. And that is precisely why audiences respond to her so strongly. But there is another layer beneath her surface, one of resilience and quiet strength. Ena may appear soft, but within that softness lies intention, discipline, and self-awareness. She carries herself with a certain quiet confidence, not loud, not dominant, but steady and grounded. This balance between softness and strength is something deeply admired in Japan, where emotional restraint and inner stability are often seen as signs of maturity. Ena's voice, too, contributes to her appeal. It is not too high, not too low, just a gentle, easy tone that feels safe to listen to. There is a calming quality in the rhythm of her speech, the way she pauses slightly before finishing a sentence, the way her words seem chosen with care. It's as though she communicates not only with her voice, but with her presence. If you imagine sharing a cup of warm tea on a cool evening, sitting by a window while light rain taps softly against the glass, that is the emotional space her voice creates. Many people say that Ena gives off the aura of someone who genuinely appreciates life's small beauties. She doesn't seem like the type who needs grand moments to be happy. A quiet walk, a warm drink, a small conversation, a shared smile. These little things feel like they matter to her. That's a kind of charm that resonates deeply in Japanese culture, where simplicity and mindfulness are treasured. And when you think about how people connect to her, it isn't because she tries to dazzle them. She attracts simply by being warm, approachable, and softly radiant. She is like the faint scent of flowers carried by the wind, something you notice not because it's strong, but because it arrives naturally and leaves gently. Her personality also feels stable and balanced. She seems like someone who values harmony, someone who avoids unnecessary conflict, someone who knows how to maintain calm even when things get complicated. She doesn't push people away with intensity or overwhelm them with energy. Instead, she invites them closer with quiet kindness. It's easy to imagine her as someone who would listen attentively, who would not interrupt, who would give space for others to express themselves. That emotional gentleness is something many people crave, especially in a world full of noise. When fans describe her, they often say she feels ayashiki, a Japanese word meaning healing type. It refers to people who bring peace simply through their presence. Ena fits that description beautifully. She is like a gentle landscape, soft, calming, and emotionally refreshing. Watching her feels like exhaling after holding your breath for too long. But her appeal is not only emotional, it's also aesthetic in a very Japanese way. Her styling is always neat but never flashy. Her clothes often lean toward soft colors, beige, cream, dusty pink, light brown. All tones associated with quiet elegance and natural warmth. Her hair is smooth and well kept, usually styled in a way that frames her face softly. Nothing about her appearance overwhelms the senses. Instead, it feels balanced and soothing. Even the way she carries her posture communicates humility. She stands straight but relaxed, as if grounded but gentle, confident but calm. It's the kind of body language that makes people feel comfortable, not intimidated. Her expressions are similarly soft, small smiles, warm eyes, quiet moments of reflection. These subtle emotional cues draw people in more effectively than any exaggeration ever could. There is also something deeply nostalgic about her. Ena feels like someone you may have met before in a small memory. A classmate you admired quietly, a neighbor who was always kind, a friend whose presence always felt safe. She reminds people of warmth, familiarity, and emotional softness. And nostalgia is one of the strongest emotional connections in Japanese culture. Ena naturally embodies that. Her charm is not new. It is timeless. It is the type of charm people remember long after the moment has passed. What makes her particularly suited to the Japanese audience is that she represents the cultural ideal of yasashiza, gentle kindness. Not the performative kind, not the forced kind, but the type that flows naturally from someone's personality. She feels like someone who speaks with sincerity, listens with intention, and moves with purpose. She gives off a warmth that is not burning hot but softly glowing. If you imagine a paper lantern lighting a quiet path at night, that is Ena. If you imagine the soft rustle of autumn leaves, that is Ena. If you imagine the gentle hum of a train in the distance, that is Ena. These quiet, familiar, emotionally comforting images are reflected in her aura. The more you think about her, the more you realize that her charm lies not in what she shows, but in what she makes you feel. She creates peace. She creates comfort. She creates soft emotion. And in a world that often feels chaotic, someone like Ena becomes even more precious. Her presence feels like a place you can return to, a calm space within noise, a soft moment within a loud world. She does not try to shine. She simply glows. And that glow is warm enough to make you stay.